Good morning. Welcome to Coffee and Cookies. My name is Lindsay, and we are so excited that you're here. I said we because I'm not the only one here. Nick is here with me.
Yay.
Good morning, Nick.
Yay. Good morning, you people, you great looking, amazing Americans. We love y'all.
Is it just showing to Americans? Could other people watch the show?
The only comments we have received are from Americans. So till something changes, I'm going to say that we're just talking to Americans.
Oh, okay.
You want to know what? Here we go. Here we go.
I just didn't know
Good
that.
morning, you amazing Earth dwellers.
Because soon that'll change, right?
Soon that will change. Good morning, Martians. Let's just stick with Earth dwellers right now, because maybe that's just Nick thinking like, oh, we're only gonna be in the United States, but why not? Why cannot this show just be a global phenomenon?
It could be. It will be.
Global phenomenon.
One day.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Right? I hope you're ready for that, because when that
I'm ready for
happens, Lindsay gonna be doing some traveling, taking her hubs with her. Mm-hmm.
You're not going?
There's another project I'll be on. I will go as your guest.
Ooh.
I will go
like
as
this.
your guest. Mm-hmm. But Nick will be working on another phenomenon.
I think that's going to be way bigger, actually.
No, it won't be. They'll actually be rolling in tandem.
Ooh.
And here's why. I can't.
We can't
talk about it. Stop it, Lindsay. Stop it. So good
almost
morning,
got to
guys.
spill a
Welcome to
secret,
Coffee
y'all.
and
Sorry about
Cookies.
that.
Thank you guys for joining us this morning. This show is all about positivity, Lindsay making fun of Nick, and Nick trying to figure out what he's doing in life. Because Lindsay already has her life figured out.
Oh, no. Lindsay does not. No. Don't tell lies, Nick.
Well, I don't lie. I may fib a little bit, but I don't lie.
I don't know if you guys know this, but Facebook did like an update. I cannot find our page.
Oh,
I'm
that's
just
interesting.
saying.
I'm already on the live stream.
I know. Like
I was like, Coffee and Cookies. He was like, what show do you want to be on? I was like, this one. And they're like, yes.
Usually it's like right here in my quick links, and it's not.
Oh, there you go. Relying on technology to not change.
I tried.
But did you really?
Still looking for it.
Fair enough. So I'm gonna let you do that. I'll just go ahead and I'll focus on me for a little bit. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's Tuesday. What does that mean? That means that we gotta get stuff done today. Why do we need to get stuff done today? Because at the end of the day, it's really about project-based learning. I don't know where that came from. Oh, I'm making things up right now. Are you ready yet?
I'm ready.
Are you ready?
I'm
I'm just going to keep you on camera for a little bit till you say you're ready.
I'm ready.
Okay, so we need to finish up the other day's episode, which was yesterday.
We were talking about education.
Hey, good morning, Dad. Thank you for tuning in as you're driving. Hopefully you're not watching the show, you're just listening to the show. But I like how he's driving and texting at the same time. Dad, don't do that. Don't do that. Bad dad. Bad.
Please be safe.
Please be safe. I need you around for a lot more years, old man.
Yep.
So we were going to talk about we're going to finish yesterday's conversation. Good morning, sweet wife. How are you doing?
We were talking about how do you instill a growth mindset, or how do you look at a student's progress over the course of their learning, right? And in the past, right, a lot of education right now, you have standardized testing, and that is supposed to benchmark you on the progress that you've learned from the first day you entered into school until the last day, right?
Sure. And there has to be some kind of metric to measure people against. I get that.
Sure. But a lot of what standard testing does is teaches kids to just regurgitate. Like, they hold on to this knowledge, they study, they regurgitate it onto the test, and then they forget it. So there's actually a newer methodology of teaching that's out, and it's called project-based learning. Do you know what that is?
I have no idea. I'm really curious right now. I'm doing everything in my power not to talk and just. I need you to just.
Okay. Okay.
Well,
So-
hold on.
Yes.
Hold on. You got me talking now, bad Lindsay. I agree with the standardized testing. I believe that there does need to be a benchmark. What I don't understand is the regurgitation. Like, can and maybe and please explain this to me. Maybe the audience completely gets this. I don't. Okay.
Well, okay. Go ahead.
Because I remember a lot of what I learned.
Mm-hmm.
But especially during my going for my master's degree, like I remember a lot of it.
Right. But in I guess I think of like
Memory dumping.
memory dumping. Yes, that's what it means.
Okay.
That's what I'm thinking.
Okay. So what you're talking about is studying.
Yes.
I took the test, closed that book, I toss it away.
Yep.
And now I'm on to my next thing, and I have no
Yes.
idea what that is, but I know I'm not going to
So-
use that knowledge I used in the past.
Yes. So,
Got it. Okay, so memory dumping.
That way of teaching or that way of learning
Yes.
is very shallow. It's a very shallow way of learning, and they're trying to cram all this information in. So you have a very wide river of knowledge, and it's very shallow. So the way that project-based learning works is that you go deeper into the topic. You go deeper into the subject, you go deeper into it so that you're learning not just the surface level, but you're understanding the why, the how, the meaning behind it, all of these things, the application of it.
So, as an example, like history. Hey, this
the worst
war
example.
happened. This no seriously. Let's
that is
use
where a lot
let's
of
use like
regurgitation
George.
happens.
Yes,
Yes.
like George Washington, right? Like Americans' independence. Like great, you learned about it, but you didn't learn the who, what, when, where, why, and how.
Correct.
You learned, hey, here's the date. Here's George Washington. Here's maybe a couple battles that happened.
Yep.
And great, you did it. Check mark. Move on.
So if you took that and you did project-based learning, you would say, okay, you are, maybe you guys do, you each get a person that was in this war,
Sure.
whatever. And it's your job to research, like, what was this person thinking? How was this person thinking? Why were they thinking this? What kind of family did they have? What kind of background did they have? Why were they making the decisions that they were making in that situation? So it's not only teaching you what happened because you're putting yourself in their shoes, but you're also saying you're learning empathy. You're learning decision making under stress because you're like, well, what would I be doing if this part of the war was coming in on my turf or whatever? I hated history. That was my worst
interesting.
subject.
I loved history.
I hated history. Like I did everything I could to not take a history class.
Well, but here we go, right? No, so I'm thinking back to my to my master's program. A lot of what we did was group based, was project based. Now, was there an exam at the end?
Sure.
Yes, there was, but it was, and that's why you had to pay attention to the other groups while the other groups presented, right? But each group got assigned, hey, take care of this problem, or how would you handle this situation? It was very situational based. It made you think.
That's project-based learning.
Got it. And that's why I can think back of going, oh, when we talked about supply chain, I actually remember different key elements of supply chain because we worked on a project for 3 weeks that dealt with putting together pieces of a supply chain. Okay. Now, may I?
Yep.
May I? How do you do this with math?
You give them a problem. Like,
Okay.
you give them a problem that makes them utilize the math things. I can't
Formula?
Thank you. Formulas, techniques, problem solving. It's problem solving.
It's problem solving.
Yes.
And what you're saying here is there's not just one way to do something.
No.
And oh my goodness, like if you know me, I enjoy thinking out of the box.
Yeah.
Right? how important is that to understand that there's more than one way to do something
Yes.
in life? And I go back to my coaching years. Every kid I had to teach just a little bit different. Yes, I was teaching them all the same skill, but I had to word it just a little bit different. I had to correct this on this kid, correct that with that kid.
Yep.
You had to use different terminology, and sometimes it was just changing one word, but you had to adjust. You had to adjust what you were saying and what you were doing to match every kid where they were at. Now, were there blanket statements? Yes, there were blanket statements that probably reached 80% of the kids, but it was at 20% that you had to do a little bit of changing of terminology with.
Right.
So what I'm hearing you say is that this project-based learning allows them, okay, to start to think critically. Now,
Yes.
I'm not talking about critical theory.
No,
Understand? I'm not talking about that. What I'm saying is very different.
Critical thinking.
Critical thinking. You're thinking for yourself. You're not just reading a book, regurgitating, as you said, and then great, it's done, it's over with. And by the way, you have to do everything A, B, C, D, E, F, G, or it's wrong.
Right.
No. How does your mind operate? This is almost more like growth mindset
Yes.
versus a fixed mindset.
Yes, it is.
But within the school system.
Yes, it
I'm
is.
loving this idea.
Yep.
I'm loving this idea.
Yes. And so another thing that helps them retain that information is that most of the time you get to pick as the learner what is interesting to you.
Oh, interesting. Now, how do you do that in a
So-
massive school setting?
You know, welcome to the challenges of being a teacher,
Okay.
because it's up to the teacher. So you have different subjects, you have different projects within each subject you have to do, but let's say you're doing math.
Morning, Jerome. How you doing, brother?
You have to use something, you have to figure out a problem within math that you want to solve. So maybe that's how do I get a robot to go down the stairs? I don't even know.
Wow, you went like
But
I was
seriously.
thinking. Let's talk at a first grade level. You're like talking like super
I'm coming
educated.
from the high school level. That's where I
Wait,
think
high
from.
school?
Yes.
You'd figure out how to get a robot to walk downstairs?
But think about that. Like getting
That's a lot of math.
it's a lot of math.
That is a lot of math. Yes.
But you would totally comprehend of, okay, here's the angle of the stair, here's the length of the robot.
Sure.
Like, how do I get him to walk down the stairs without having him fall over?
So so that was a great analogy.
And that also is cross curriculum. You cross curriculuming your project, because you have engineering, you have
science,
math, you have science, you have whatever. So
when I was going through my master's program, I am not I'm a numbers guy, but I'm not a formula guy. There's a reason why I have my wife handle all the massive Excel sheets. Okay, they're like I'm good with like the basic money formulas.
Yeah.
I resonate with. After that, I want nothing to do with it. Okay, but so when I was going through my master's program, we would always get put into groups, and some of the people that were in my we were doing accounting. Okay, like heavy accounting. And honestly, the guys I sat next to, they taught me more about accounting than the teacher ever did.
right.
And they were masters at it. Now, when it flipped to business, when it flipped to marketing, now I was leading the team, right?
Right.
So we were able to pivot within our fortes. And something my master's program did really good was they used, I guess Excel has something called a randomizer. And they would randomize the groups using Excel. I don't know how that works, but it was really good because you were always with different people, and that helped you learn. Oh, great! This is a visionary. This is an integrator. This is a person who likes to take lead. This is a person who likes to who doesn't like to take lead. This is a person who likes to present. Like that sometimes they're like, Nick, like, here's what's going on. Here's how it works. We're going to do this because honestly, Nick, you're probably going to mess it up. But when it comes time to present, you're going to present.
You're going to present it.
You're going to present it.
That's your 1% that
there
you're
we go.
bringing to the
Right.
team.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. Now, when it came to some other things, like I was very heavy handed in, and then I would step back from presenting and let someone who's maybe struggling through that, let them present. Right. So it was this great ebb and flow, but we're talking about adults.
Yep.
Right. We're talking about to do this master's program, you had to have years in leadership. You had to have some kind of a management background. Like you had to be at a certain tier.
Right.
But if you can get it done there, then you can start to walk it back into schools. And I mean, think about this. How much more would kids be engaged if they were able to talk about things that they actually enjoy talking about? If we had to do a math equation, but you want to know what, maybe this kid really likes motors and engines, and we're able to relate this to a motor or an engine, right?
And you could, if you were in that project group setting, project-based learning, you get to decide, okay, I need to figure out how to attach this piece to a motor that's a custom piece. How do I make it fit within the engine but still fit underneath the hood? Like all of that is math. That's math.
Yeah, you are literally speaking
math.
Nolan's language right now. Like not Nick's language. That's Nolan's language.
I didn't, mess it up.
Okay, are you ready? All right. Now,
that's not my
because Jerome's here, right? Jerome, he owns a clothing line, right? So what is he looking at in his marketing? He's looking at impressions. He's looking at clicks. He's looking at how many people hit his website. So how many purchases, right? He's also on the business side looking at, hey, this piece of clothing is this price. To have it, my custom print is this. Great. Now here's my profit margin. Great. Now here's my taxes.
Well, right now you're talking about economics.
Ooh, but we're pulling math into economics. Right?
Yes.
I mean, seriously, let's take this a step back now. Ready? Your household. Have you started looking at your household almost like a business? Hey, here's the revenue that we're bringing in. Here's how much is going to taxes. Here's how much is going to tithe. Here's how much is going to paying our vehicles or our food or our going out or our babysitter or clothes, right?
Yep.
And then how are you starting to maneuver that so you actually know where every dollar goes?
Yep. So I actually did a really good, I used to do a personal finance class. I don't know if you knew that, but I used to teach a personal finance class.
Why am I not surprised by this? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Lindsay Smith, who's had 15 different lifetimes in her one lifetime.
Hey, you've had 30.
I know.
But there's this great simulation that you can use for your kids, and it actually puts them into, like, they get a checking account, and then they have transactions come through, and like life mishaps, like, oh, you just got in an accident, you have to pay this, and like they don't have that amount in their money.
There's a game like that called the Rat Race.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, I actually have that board game sitting in my house.
Oh, well, this is a project that takes like months. So like they actually put you through it's like months of what it's like to have a checking account and pay bills and do things like, oh, you made your payment late, you didn't schedule that, well, you got a late fee. Oh, you don't have enough money now to pay that bill? Whoops. Yeah. And so like they would get graded. I would grade them on how well they managed their life.
Their life. Now, and again, this was in what grade?
Ninth grade.
So this is in high school. This is in high school. We're not talking about little elementary kids.
Yeah.
So let's take that a step further back. There's this TV show that I mentioned. It's called Bluey. And Bluey, while they're in kindergarten, okay, because Bluey's in kindergarten, they pretend life. Like they pretend one of the boys, his dad's in the army, so they go on patrol, right? And they pretend that they're going through patrol. Like it's this school that lets kids actually express their imagination. Yep. Right. There's another episode where the girls are pretending that they're having babies. Right. And then what's going along with that is the boys are pretending that there's a dragon, right? And the knight had to fight the dragon, and then this happens and that happens, and
there's conflict. Like in that episode particularly, there's conflict, and then, teaching them how to work through that conflict and understand each story and how.
There you go.
How, oh, I'm so sorry.
Right?
Like,
And what's the teacher's name? Amber,
Calypso.
Calypso, thank you.
You're welcome.
Calypso is so good about just like, hey, tell your side of the story. And then you'll see the other character go, oh, that's why. And then before they dismiss, the kid that had the realization, no, now you get to tell your side of the story so these other kids can have the realization. Right? And again, what she's doing, she's not telling the kids how to do it. She's letting them work through it.
Right.
This is I think you could take what you're talking about, this project-based learning. And I really think, like, Lindsay, like, you need to come up with curriculum.
There's already things out there.
No. Hear me on this.
Okay.
And maybe it's just you becoming a focal point that directs people to the right curriculum.
Okay.
Maybe that's the idea. But how many parents, like, I'm even guilty of this, instead of guiding my kids through something, I'm immediately giving them the answer.
Right. Ugh, it's so hard.
Right?
So hard. And then, like, there's
Jerome,
moments,
I completely agree.
There's moments when your kids are thinking, and there's maybe another adult in the room that's like, oh, they don't know, I'll answer for them. I'm like, no, they're thinking. Let them think. Like, let them think.
Let them process.
Let them process through
Let them
it.
process. I didn't ask you to interrupt.
And here's the thing, like, that was something that I learned as a teacher. Silence is okay.
That's something that I would almost say that our generation has gotten away from. I'm so sorry. That our generation was not taught.
Right.
With silence is okay.
You're like, oh, nobody knows the answer. Because it's those moments that the kids that are quiet and shy, that are smart and they don't want to talk, that's when those kids are like, ugh, nobody else is going to say anything. Okay, like, I'll answer.
So it's funny. I was reading a blog, and this kid is telling a story about another kid, and there's this the teacher asked a question to the other kid, and the kid says, listen, like it's quiet for a minute, and he says, hold on, everyone, don't rush me, I'm not stupid, I'm just panicking right now because I wasn't ready for this, give me some time to think about this. And I resonated so much with that, because how often we have not taught our kids to take that deep breath. We have not taught our kids to give me a second to think about this, right?
Yeah.
We start learning those skills when we get into the workplace. We start learning those skills when you get into management.
But how much more beneficially would that kid be if they learned how to do that now?
And not be rushed. Like, granted, like in sports and in certain points in time,
like when we're on the clock and we got to get out the door.
There you go, right? Like yes, there needs to be that. But when you're allowing your child to process, when you're allowing your student to process, when you're allowing your pupil to process, 90% of the coaching that I do is asking a question to get you to think about it. 90% of the coaching that I do is asking a question, is seeing something that's outside of whoever I'm coaching, their field of vision, so they can start to see it.
And those are the best teachers that aren't giving the answers. They're asking the questions, because maybe the student isn't thinking about the right question. Maybe they just need a different question to answer.
There you go.
And that's what teachers need to be doing, is helping them, prompting them. Okay, well, if that question didn't help you, let me figure out a way to rephrase that question to speak to you.
And that is honestly, so bragging moment. When I was a coach, we have a gym of 12, 13 coaches. I had a wait list 2 to 3 months out. Coaches would have open spots in their classes, but parents would say, nope, I want that coach. I want Coach Nick. Like, my kid's going to him. And that was one of my reasons that was one of the reasons why I was able to have that was because I understood how to reposition, how to reword things to resonate with the kids.
Yep.
Right? Now, hear me on this, okay? Not only was it important to teach the kids, the other reason why I was so successful as a coach was I actually spoke to the parents. I would take time, I would end class maybe a minute or 2 minutes early, and I would take time and I would give positive feedback about the kids to the parents. And when you stand there, I'm about to get emotional.
I thought he was totally going to burp. I didn't think it was.
No,
tears.
I did not expect myself to tear up talking about this. But I remember I just had a flashback of all these little eyes looking at me. When that kid is standing next to their parent and you were genuinely telling that parent how good their child did. To watch that kid's eyes change. Not only did it happen within the parents, not only did the parents' eyes change, like a lot of the parents were thankful. Oh man, like, so thank you for telling me like my kid did great. Like, granted, because they're sitting in bleachers and they're watching the coaching happen, right? Thank you for that. But when you take the time to tell the parent with the kid there,
Yep.
Hey, your kid did great on bars today, or your kid did great on vault today, or your kid did great. And you don't just say it in a blanket statement, but you say in this, right? My daughter was hopping out of the car today as we were dropping her off, and she got this little yellow sheet of paper that said, I got caught doing something nice today. And that when she showed me that, just that, oh my goodness, I'm so proud of you. Like, granted, as a teacher, you don't always get to have that one-on-one conversation. As a coach, you normally do, right?
Depending on what you're coaching.
Sure. Yes, yeah, absolutely. Depending on what you're coaching.
Football, that's a little tough. There's a lot of kids on the football team.
Well, gymnastics is a bit more one-on-one, right? But being able to do that, it's so impactful. Hi. Oh, the boss is arriving. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the boss is arriving. How are you doing? So take that time. Oh, you guys. Oh man, they gave you a double escort. Angelina didn't realize that you were such
she's in trouble.
Oh, that's greatness. That is greatness. I love it. Jerome, that is a great share. Bye, ladies. Bye. I got it. Jerome, that is a great. Thank you for sharing that in the comments. We're actually not going to get to any of the topics that I had written down for today. No. But this is important. This is very important. Project-based learning.
Yes. So there are schools that implement this in right now as their main type of curriculum.
Public, or is this only private?
No, there are public schools that do it.
Okay.
But that would be a question that you could bring up to your teachers and say, well, what kind of learning are you doing? Are you doing traditional learning? Are you doing project-based learning? That's something that you as the parent, if that's important to you, have that conversation and know what kind of learning, what kind of methodology is your school implementing.
So real quick, because, we have kids that are going into first grade and second grade, and there's this TAS test. There's something Texas test.
The STAR test?
Thank you. Wow.
You're welcome.
But I remember back in my school, it was called the TAS test, TAAS, whatever that stood for. I have no idea.
Okay.
But now it's called...
we had the MEEP in
The
Michigan.
MEEP? I love it. But now you're talking, it's called the STAR test, right?
Yes. In the state of Texas, it's the STAR test.
Thank you.
Yes.
How does project-based learning fit into the STAR test?
So...
Or has that even been figured out yet? And that's why it's such a gray area.
It has. So there are, within project-based learning, you have milestones.
Okay.
And within milestones, like in my class, when I used project-based learning, during a milestone, our kids had to give a summary, a report of where they were they in the progress of their project, what have they learned, and then there were certain things that they had to submit. So
Okay.
like throughout the project. And it also helped them with time management. Like you have this massive, because sometimes they're massive projects and you have milestones within it. So you have them set their own deadline, or like, here's the deadline. Can you get it done before then? Great. Turn it in. Start on your next one. But anyway, within those, you have them do things throughout the project that help them understand that they're learning these concepts throughout.
Okay.
And
So
those concepts,
what I'm hearing you say is there is a way of blending it.
yes.
There is a way of having them coexist.
Yes. I can't remember where, but there is a high school that does only project-based learning within the state of Texas.
Interesting.
I can't remember where it is, though.
It's okay. I'm sure you'll Google it and have that answer for us soon.
Yeah.
Even the boss over here laughed at it. She's
Yeah.
like, you have no idea how much Lindsay has on her
But-
plate.
But, there is a school right in our backyard that uses project-based learning as their core. I don't know if they use it for everything.
But it's their foundation. That's a step in the right direction. What's the name of the school?
Leadership prep.
Oh, LPS. Oh, interesting. Why am I not surprised by this? Why did I not? It's Angelina's fault. I didn't get that right because Angelina,
Don't blame. Take ownership. Take ownership. Hey, there's a big sign in our church that says project-based learning.
Where?
It's right by the treehouse.
I don't.
Yeah,
I'm paying
she
attention to the
knows.
people.
She
I'm
knows.
cheating
I know,
McChatting
right?
it up. Like, you want to know what, Lindsay? I want you to go next time you're at church. I want you to go stand next to it. I want you to point to it, take a picture, and put it into the comments.
For sure.
Yes.
You'll have to wait about a week.
I know, but still, it'd be funny. It'd be great. It'd be great.
Angelina, I need you to set a reminder for me to do that.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, hey, thank you guys for joining us today. Hopefully you got something great from this project-based learning episode. Lindsay, thank you for dropping all the knowledge that you
Yes.
did. That was
My
really
pleasure.
good. I had all these other things. They're going to get pushed out a little bit that we're going to talk about.
Because I want to talk about them.
And I do too. I do too. But this project-based learning was just so key. I learned a lot. Hope you as the audience learned a lot. And hey, thank you guys for joining us on Facebook. Thank you guys for joining us on YouTube. Please be sure to like, and especially if you're on Facebook and YouTube, to comment. Okay. YouTube tells us that you're watching. I see that you're watching, but unless you comment, I don't know who you are. We don't know who you are, and we want to interact with you as the audience. Okay. Facebook's a little bit nicer. If you like it, at least it tells us who you are, but comments are always better. And we greatly appreciate you guys.
Yes.
So, and please understand, like every morning when we come in here, and this has been a new thing because normally we would pray afterwards, but now we're starting to pray in the morning. And one of the things that we do is we pray for our audience. We pray blessings and positive over you guys. And the reason we do that is, well, thank you, Jerome. Thank you very much, brother. Is we want you guys to succeed. We want you guys to win. It's so important that you bring your positive into the workplace, you bring your positive into the family, and that you're winning. Okay. If you're like, Nick, I need more positive. Great. Go listen to some more of our episodes. You'll get more positive, okay? So especially
and if you need a good laugh, listen to yesterday, because
yesterday at about the 10-minute mark,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
About the 10-minute mark. Oh my goodness. I almost had to walk out. I was laughing so hard. Actually, I might go snip that out. I might make that like an ad. Like, if you need laughter, come watch this show. Like, that's going to be the ad. Laughter 101. Right? Angelina agrees with this. Great. Go ahead and get on that, please.
Yeah, she's like, I was tearing up yesterday. She sent me that message.
Oh my
Like,
goodness, it
literal
was
tears
so
coming down my
good.
face.
So good. So we love you guys. It's Tuesday. Where are you on your big three? I did not get my big three in. I saw you got your big three in.
did.
I need to go get my big three in. So that's going to
I
happen
already
now.
have the first one done.
High five.
That was almost like totally in sync. I loved it.
That needs to go on a shirt. When you need a high five, just you do it. Yes. I don't even know how. I just watched the replay. That was so good. Oh my goodness. That's how you know when you have a good co-host. When you do crazy stuff
Yep.
like that and it works, that's how you know you have a good co-host. Okay. So, hey, we love you guys. Thank you guys for being in the comments. We're going to pray greatness over you. bring your positive today, y'all. Just
Someone
bring it.
needs it.
Bring it. So
Yep.
someone in your life needs it. They need you to be on point.
You need it.
Right? Sometimes we always think about other people, but no, you need it for you. Make sure you have your positive. And here we go. Hear me on this, okay? If you need to take a break today. Take a break. If you're just feeling a little over the top, go for a walk today. Go get some sunlight. Okay?
Well,
even with cloud even with
face,
cloud cover, you get the vitamin D from the sun. Don't discredit it. That's why people get burned even when they're
Oh.
the sunlight's still coming through.
Like me.
Okay.
I get burned.
So we love you guys. Hopefully, I don't know what I'm hoping for. I know what I'm hoping for.
What are you hoping for, Nick? You gonna share?
No.
Wow.
No, I'm not because it's you want to know if I get your blessing to share it tomorrow? Let me share it with you first.
Okay.
Let me share it with Amber first.
All right.
Let me get you all's blessing on it first before I say it out
Who
loud.
are you? You just paused yourself. Usually I pause him. Like, pause it, Nick.
We love you guys. Thank you for staying on while we had this discussion. Make sure that you
Rise up.
crush it.
Bye, y'all.